right? We know what atheism does. Anybody who's been to the Soviet Union knows about atheism. They always say, oh, more people died in the name of religion than any other thing. That's bullshit. More people died in the name of atheism than any other thing. Atheism is a new concept, you know? But in the last 100 years, over 100 million people were murdered by atheists. Okay? Atheism is something that's completely anti-Torah. It's the worst form of avodah zorah, and that's what we got to fight here in America. That is the biggest enemy of Jews and Judaism, is atheism. Christianity is not the enemy. Christianity is our friend. Okay? It's not what we want to do ourselves. We're not Christian. Right. But it's like our friend. It's like our next door neighbor. We're okay with that, right? We band together against a common opponent, which is atheism and secularism and assimilation, and them pushing their secular beliefs on us.
And abortion and cross-dressing and
well, I'm okay with cross-dressing. All right, so that's my piece. You go ahead, tear it apart.
I didn't know that D. Medic wasn't Jewish. Did you know that D. Medic was a guy?
Of course. Where have you been? Sometimes I wonder if you even pay attention to anything. Okay, maybe I read the transcripts all those years and you didn't.
So do you think the Dallas Cowboys are Super Bowl contenders this year?
So you have nothing to say on this? You asked me about football the other week, and I decided I'm not saying anything about football until the season starts. I'll tell you what. I'm not caught up. There's a lot of changes that were made.
Yeah.
Draft picks and free agent signings and trades, and I'm not ready to say anything. Even now in the preseason, it's short. They haven't had a lot of practice yet. I'm not going to be ready to make any predictions till maybe as we get going.
Okay, why don't you read the chat and I'll talk about Michelle Bachmann.
Okay, you talk about Michelle Bachmann.
So I met Michelle Bachmann. Kinda. I mean, I was within a hand's length of arm's length from her. Because I went to this rally for Israel last summer, and Michelle Bachmann showed up, and thought, what is she doing here? Oh, that's right, she's running for president. And I didn't take her seriously, because I kind of thought she was like this flame-throwing right-wing kook. Like, she just has that look that just seems, extreme or kooky, so she came by the rally, and I kind of moved out of the way because she was greeting people, and I don't generally like politicians. I don't like to be sold. I don't like pushy salesmen, and I just didn't want to get into her orbit. But I have to say, there was an energy and an intensity to her that was special, that was charismatic, and I kind of pulled away. I was a little bit afraid of it. I never thought she would make a serious run for president. I didn't think that she had a chance. And I am just as impressed by her campaign. Her campaign is really professional. Her answers to questions are usually pretty sharp. This is a charismatic, energetic, focused, disciplined, intelligent woman. And every week she seems to just get sharper and sharper and smarter. And I am just really impressed by Michelle Bachmann's campaign. I'm interested that she doesn't really invoke God or Jesus that much. She's obviously a very religious woman, and the news media are always saying, asking her about her religious beliefs. And I noticed, though, in her campaign, she's very sharp. She's attached herself to the Tea Party movement, which is kind of a freedom movement, freedom from government, a libertarian movement, and she's attached herself to that. And I think she's been very canny, very smart. And prior to Rick Perry getting into the race, I agreed with, I think it was Jennifer Rubin at the Washington Post, who said that Michelle Bachmann, of all the Republican candidates, had the clearest path to the nomination. And so now Rick Perry's in there, that makes the equation more complex. But I did not expect this degree of professionalism, competence, and focus from Michelle Bachmann, and she's bringing it every day. I'm impressed.
Last week you said, or maybe in the week before, you said that you were supporting her. Who do you want now? Do you want her or Perry?
I think Perry.
Perry?
Because he's got more.
He's got more
legislative accomplishments. More.
Yeah.
He's got executive experience running Texas for 11 years.
Right, right. He's
And,
got, what's it called, executive experience.
Yeah, and he is really conservative, like economically and socially, and like he unites all aspects of the Republican Party. He unites the economic libertarians.
Right.
He unites the evangelical Christians and the cultural conservatives. He unites those Republicans who want America to be like a leading light in the world and a leading force in the world. Like all the major camps of the Republican Party, Rick Perry endorses, and he's a formidable campaigner. And I'm really excited he's in the race. So yeah, I guess I support Rick.
Yeah, you know, on paper and resume, you know, when you put Perry against Bachmann, it's not even a contest. Bachmann doesn't really have a record.
Right.
All she did was like vote against, you know, the compromise. And she votes, you know, has a voting record.
Yeah.
You know, but we're not electing someone to vote. You know, we're not electing a senator or a congressperson. You want somebody who's actually run a budget, you know, and had employees under them and understands that stuff, right? She did work. She had a private business or something.
Yeah, she was an IRS tax attorney, which.
But they also her and her husband started a business.
Yeah.
So she's got some of that. But I mean, you can't compare that against
private school.
Rick Perry is running a state that's one of the biggest states in the country with a gigantic, you know, budget, you know, billions and billions of dollars. So, you know, you really can't compare the two.
Yeah.
He's got all the eggs. He's much more legit.
Much more accomplished, yeah.
Oh, he's more accomplished than the rest of them, all of them, I think.
It's interesting, though, how little nationwide, how little people know him outside of Texas.
I didn't know him. I never heard of him.
Rick Perry sat next to most Americans on a plane.
Wouldn't know him.
They wouldn't know him.
Wouldn't know him.
They wouldn't recognize him.
Guilty. I never saw this guy.
And like people saw George W. Bush, you know, coming for years.
Because of his dad.
Because of his dad.
Otherwise, you wouldn't know him either.
Like Rick Perry, like people saw Obama coming for years. I guess the nearest to this would be Bill Clinton. But I mean, they even.
Oh, I never heard of Clinton. I never heard of Clinton. He was in the primaries and he was winning. I still didn't know who he was. You remember that in '92?
Yeah, I remember him giving a speech in 1988 that went on too long.
I don't remember it.
Yeah, nominating Michael Dukakis.
I don't remember it.
But yeah, Clinton was pretty much nothing.
He got it lucky because he ran against nobody. He ran against Paul Tsongas, and like nobody had ever heard of him.
Right.
And like Jerry Brown came in for entertainment, right? But
Right.
I mean, basically there was nobody running.
Right.
You know, and that was like Clinton stole that election. He should have never had a chance. And he only won because Ross Perot came in and split the conservative vote. Remember that?
Yeah.
I voted for Perot, by the way. So yeah, I think that Perry is got a lot more muscle.
Maybe he's like Jimmy Carter. Like, did anyone know Jimmy Carter in 1974 outside of Georgia?
76.
I know they knew him in 76 because he's like president of the United States.
Oh, nobody. No.
What about a year or two before that?
No.
Did anyone outside of Georgia know Jimmy Carter?
Never. No. The reason why.
So Perry's like Jimmy Carter in there.
Yeah. Well, the reason why he won is because Nixon had destroyed the Republican Party.
Right.
It was like anybody who happened to be a Democrat who stepped forward had a really good chance of winning the presidency.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, the people like you thought were going to run, like the big names, didn't run that year. Like, you know, Ted Kennedy had run in '72. He didn't run. McGovern and McCarthy and all these all these people, I can't even remember them anymore. But the people who were the big names in Muskie and Humphrey and all these names from like '68 and '72 that like you thought, oh, this is their chance to pop in there. They didn't run. Humphrey, these people didn't run. They didn't run '76, and that left the door wide open for Jimmy. You know, he got lucky on that one. There's a lucky guy.
So let's hit a little bit of Torah.
Oh, by the way, I looked at this thing. It's running too fast. I could not keep up with. You know, I'm moving the up and down thingy.
Yeah. We couldn't keep. But was there anything you want to respond to?
There's just too much information. Okay. But I wanted to say hello to all the people in the chat room. It was busy. I say we've had about 10 people.
Sorry.
Go back to that. Dude, no, let go. We've had about 10 people in the chat room, in and out. Right now it's at 6, but it was like at 8. I just want to say hello to Boy Wonder, SNS Gamer, Reb Taco, Jew Bastard, D Medic, Blev De Champ, right? And there's also a Tiao, and there was somebody else, and it's been very busy in there.
It's been very busy, but they haven't produced much of